So next we'll look at conflict resolution in Israeli society. Firstly, we have to understand that the Jews are encouraged to be peaceful. The Torah teaches them to be a peaceful people, and if an enemy is hungry or thirsty, they're obliged to provide for them. And the Baritha encourages Jews to be polite to non-Jews, to greet them, and to ask them of their well-being to avoid conflict. However, with all this, sometimes conflict cannot be avoided. And if conflict cannot be avoided, Jews have different ways of resolving conflict. The first one is violence, the second is separation, the third is compromise, and the fourth is reconciliation, but not necessarily in that order. In violence, when you think back to the Bible and you think about the story of the brothers Cain and Abel, when they had conflict, it ended up with brothers arguing, and Cain ended up killing Abel. In the second one, which is separation, when you think back to the Bible, the Jews look at the story of Abraham and Lot. When the two had conflict, Abraham tried to resolve this conflict, say to Lot, okay, there are two paths. You choose yours, I choose mine. And when they did that, Abraham chose a path going in the opposite direction of Lot so as to avoid conflict. The other one is compromise. When they're being told to be compromised, they're asked to act in an honest way in God's eyes. And when you think back to the Bible, you think of the story of Solomon when two women came before him, with two women with one dead child and one alive child. When Solomon was about to cut one of the children in half, the one woman compromised and said, "You can give the child to the woman to the other woman." And in so doing, she ended up getting the child, and that child was able to be kept alive. That was because of compromise. And the last one is reconciliation. There's several stories in the Bible where one has to ask for forgiveness and try to reconcile with one's enemies. And the Jews are encouraged to do that and to resolve any conflict with their family. So in conclusion, we'll say when doing business in Israel, if you don't know if something is appropriate, just try to avoid doing it. And if you do not know, just ask. So thank you for taking the time to watch our presentation.